Hi, it is the third day in Advent. So we're going to talk a little bit about our Jesse tree again. Jesse is the father of David, king of Israel, and it was prophesied in the Old Testament that the Messiah would descend from the line of David. Jesus does descend from the line of David, and Christians believe that Jesus is the branch of Jesse's tree that is foretold in the Old Testament prophecies. So during the season of Lent, if you use a Jesse tree, each day you reflect on a piece of scripture, and you have an ornament that matches that scripture that you hang on your tree. Mine happens to light up. Yours could be a branch that fell off the tree in the backyard, or an evergreen branch that you cut off, or some little Christmas tree you have sitting around that's just kind of a spare. I have one of those that I use sometimes as well. Our story for this third Sunday in Advent is the story of Noah. You'll find the story of Noah in the book of Genesis. And you can find it in the 6th chapter and the 7th chapter and the 8th chapter. So rather than reading all of that to you, I'm just going to read a children's version of the Noah's Ark story. During Noah's lifetime, people were acting very wickedly. This made God unhappy. It made him sad because people seemed to be thinking more about themselves than about God. Noah, however, was a good man. He loved and obeyed God, and God loved Noah very much. God actually loved all the people as much as he loved Noah, but at the time, only Noah was listening to God. God told Noah to build an ark, a big boat. So Noah followed God's plan and built a boat that was 1.5 football fields long. That's a huge boat. Noah's neighbors laughed at him because there wasn't any water in the desert where they lived. But God told Noah that a great flood was coming. Noah tried to warn the people to change their ways so that they could hear God too, but they wouldn't listen. They just kept on with their selfish lives. God asked Noah to collect 2 of all the creatures of the earth and bring them into the ark. He also told the animals to find Noah, so it wasn't hard for Noah to gather them together. Pairs of each kind of animal were put safely inside the ark before it began to rain. Noah's wife and his 3 sons and their wives were also safe on the boat. When everybody was aboard, God shut the door. Noah and his family and the animals lived in the ark for 7 days before the first raindrops fell. Then it rained for 40 days and 40 nights. Soon the earth was covered with water. After it stopped raining, the water continued to rise for 150 days. The ark landed in the mountain range of Ararat during the 7th month of the flood. God sent a big wind, and the waters began to evaporate. Noah and the floating zoo had to stay in the ark for several more months while the earth slowly dried out. Finally, Noah sent a raven out of the ark's window to look for land. The raven never returned. Noah waited another week for the water level to go down and then sent a dove to do the same thing. The dove couldn't find a place to rest, so it returned to the ark. Another week passed, and then Noah sent out the dove again. This time, it came back with an olive branch. Noah now knew that the water was low enough for a tree branch to show. When Noah sent off the dove a week later, it didn't return. The dove had found a place to rest on dry land. Altogether, Noah and his family and the animals lived on the ark for 1 year, 1 month, and 27 days. It was now time for all the creatures and Noah's family to move off the ark. Noah and his family and the animals needed to start life over again. After everyone left the ark, Noah prayed to God to thank him for keeping them safe. Suddenly, a bright rainbow filled the sky. This was God's promise that he would never flood the earth again. So this is my ornament that goes with the story of Noah. You can tell that it's a little above my skill level, so thanks to my niece for painting that one for me. Have a good night.